Quiet down. This court is now in session. Chemical engineer, you stand accused of killing the planet. You have 10 minutes to make your case before we, the world, pass judgment and will probably have to execute you.
Wait, Your Majesty. I mean, Your Honor. I know. Some would say this is a foregone conclusion. There are many reasons to think that this is the case. For example, take an oil refinery, designed by chemical engineers. You know, one of those big factories with the smoke coming out? These factories take in crude oil, extracted from deep within the earth, and transform it into products. Well, when they do that, they can really mess things up. During this process, they can release stuff into the air that makes people sick. For instance, a report by the Environmental Integrity Project documented a significant release of benzene found in crude oil. Benzene is a molecule made of hydrogens and 6 carbons, which together form a 6-sided ring, like a hexagon. This ring is called aromatic because it has a sweet smell. Unfortunately, it is also a substance that is known to cause cancer. When released, it can impact the health of nearby communities, making them ill. Because of the carbon and the hydrogen, benzene is known as an aromatic hydrocarbon. Now, if we link these rings together in different ways, we get poly, meaning many, aromatic hydrocarbons. Many of these compounds are also harmful. If they leak out of an oil refinery into rivers and oceans, they can hurt the animals and plants close by. A study by the Global Water Futures Program found high levels of dangerous polyaromatic hydrocarbons in fish and the mud at the bottom of a river near a refinery. These can kill the fish and harm anyone that would unknowingly eat them. Also, in order to operate the refinery, some gases are burnt to fuel the process. This then releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. This gas contributes to global warming and consequently the climate change we see happening all over the world.
Yes, it all seems pretty clear. Oil refineries cause harm to people and the environment. As their designers, chemical engineers should be held responsible.
Yes. Based on this, you might think that everyone working at these places are evil and bent on destroying the world. But think about it. Were these factories built to pollute on purpose? Definitely not. So why were they built in the first place? Well, oil refineries make tons of stuff we use every day. For example, did you know even something found in almost every medicine cabinet, like aspirin, starts off in an oil refinery? Most pharmaceuticals need petrochemicals, including antibiotics. For example, after fermentation, penicillin must be extracted and purified. This uses organic solvents. Many of them are derived from petrochemicals which come from oil. What about the plastic in heart valves that can save lives? These special plastics need to be strong and work well with the human body. These are all things that help people and they come from an oil refinery. Not to mention the fuel you put in your car every day to drive to work or to go shopping. Also from an oil refinery. Same for the fuel in airplanes, trains and trucks, all delivering the things we need every single day. Without an oil refinery, that would be very difficult indeed.
Okay, fine. So some good can also come from refineries. But does that mean we can't have one without the other? We must pay for all the good things by killing the planet.
No, certainly not. There is another way. First, The government can make really strict rules and give fines to those companies who pollute. For example, the Clean Air Initiative has some good ideas about this. The companies that run these factories can be made to use better technology. This technology can make the same products but with way less pollution. There are also options like catching the bad gases or filtering out the nasty stuff from the waste streams. And guess what? There are even completely different ways to make the things we need without using oil refineries at all. For example, we can make plastics from plants, get our energy from the sun or the wind, and we can even use living things like bacteria to make chemicals in a clean way. Some of these options are still being developed though, and it will take some time before we can use them.
So why aren't we using these cleaner options more? Is it the chemical engineers' fault?
No. When I studied at university, we were taught to think about the environment in all of our designs. Professional groups like the Institute of Chemical Engineers emphasize this. We're always trying to find better, greener ways to do things.
Then, why don't we have these cleaner technologies everywhere? Who's saying no to using them?
Sadly, the reason is mostly money. It usually costs more money to clean things up and use better technologies. So, the people in charge often use the cheaper, dirtier options. And yes, some of them do this for greed. But before you get too angry with them, think about the last time you took an aspirin or filled up your car's gas tank. Would you be willing to pay more for those things if it meant they were made in a way that didn't hurt the planet as much? What about somebody with an infection that desperately needs antibiotics? Or the person with a heart problem that needs a new heart valve? Should they also pay even more? This is a tough question we all need to think about. We need clever, inventive people, like scientists and even chemical engineers, but they need to think beyond just inventing new technologies. It is even more important to figure out how we make them work in the real world, where they affect the price of all the things everyone needs. And you, out there, watching this, are you ready to pay more for the things you need to help save the planet? You're the final judge. Is it worth it? Let me know in the comments if I get to live another day. Cheers.